Let's talk about Teams. So now we are joined by
Michael,
Peter, and Carsten.
and we're going to talk a bit about the new big buzzword, Copilot. So what is Copilot about, Peter?
Copilot is about being more effective, being more creative, having more time to do the fun work. And Copilot is basically everything. It is our, let's say, umbrella name for infusing AI into the different products. And of course, we've done that heavily in Teams. Actually, in two ways in Teams. Of course, this about making it easier. We probably all, at least here in Microsoft, we have these very long howling chats going on forever. But also in different channels where we have chats going on, and we've done a lot. You've probably all seen that. We've done that about making a better overview when you go into a channel. It's about the threaded communication, all that. But still, having been, if you're so lucky, being away for a week's vacation or anything, it can be very difficult to get back in. So you can now use Copilot, the AI-generated chat functionality. You can ask questions, prompting the system for what has been going on. Summarize, please. Who has actions?
but do you prompt it directly into the chat, and will everybody be able to see it then, or is it a function on the side?
No, that's actually a very good question, because there's quite some confusion and discussion in the market, because we also have the intelligent recap, which is a part of Teams Premium, which is also AI infused into Teams. This is about that it does the recap of the meeting, and it's all automation about what task has been and topics and things in the recap. No, if you use Copilot, it's between you and your Copilot.
Yeah. Like in a car on a rally stage or something like
exactly.
that. Exactly.
So it's between you and the system. So whenever you close down the session, it's gone. No one can see it. It's gone. Of course, if you want to work on the answer from, you can of course copy it out of that session. But as soon as you close down your Copilot sessions in a meeting, in a chat, in a channel, it's gone. The other part that is also coming into Teams is what we call Microsoft 365 Chat. It's all during the involvement of the product. It was called Business Chat. You might have heard that term. But the official word now that we are getting very close to release is Microsoft 365 Chat. And that is basically taking what we know from ChatGPT, from Bard, from the different AI-based chat bots we've seen in the public internet, putting that into your organization, working across all the different data you have within your security setup. So
but only in your own organization.
That is basically up to the organization to decide whether it should be only within your data, your own data, or you want to be able to question the internet as well. You can open up, say, yes, we also allow interacting, getting information from the internet. Because that gives you the possibility to say, hey, I have this very, very top secret product specification on a new product that we're gonna release.
Yeah.
What is out there on the market? So you can actually go and say, hey, I have this product specification. Could you compare that to similar products that is available in the public? So yes, we can ask questions that takes the internet as a source. Yeah. But the very important thing to understand about Copilot is that it is built within the same security boundary as every other cloud services that you have as part of your Microsoft 365.
So just to clarify it, so my user, I have the Copilot, I'm sitting on it. The data I can access is limited to what my user can see, or is it more widely than what my user?
No.
So I guess it makes perfect sense. But just to clarify everything, so it's my user that is setting the boundaries.
That is a very basic but very important understanding on how Copilot is doing. It is called Copilot and not Autopilot or anything else, because it's something that helps you based on what you can do. It helps you to be more efficient, be more creative, but it cannot use any information that you as a user could have gone and accessed yourself.
Yeah.
So the minimum requirement for Copilot to be able to take it in to the answer that comes back to you, to your prompt, is that you as a user has at least view permission. So if you can view and read the document, the information,
Okay.
then Copilot can use it to gather in the...
It's just a bit faster at reading than I am.
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
Exactly. And it has a better memory.
Yeah.
But that actually lifts a huge question here. How have you marked your data? Is
Yeah.
that one of the big questions you
Yeah,
get?
yeah, yeah.
Because I think it's one of the biggest questions here is what access can a user get? What can they get?
Yeah.
And if you have a lot of corporate data and you have, samplers and
Yeah. It is basically we get into this situation for the third time in a short while. We had it 5-6 years ago when Microsoft introduced this functionality called 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And different organizations realized, can our users see all this, all these documents, all this information?
Yes.
Yes. They can. We got to turn that off.
Yeah.
But they didn't change anything in the access model.
No.
They did not go in and look at the data governance or anything like that. Then Teams came out.
Yeah.
We had this guest access.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can all these external users see all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to turn off that. We didn't change our access model. Now we're gonna release Copilot into that same data lake environment, whatever we decide to call it, and it is basically Teams guest access and 12 on steroids.
Yeah.
It's gonna find whatever information that you as a user have access to, and it's gonna use that to produce new content.
So it was more like hiding the issue instead of actually fixing the issue.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good point that
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, Copilot. Yeah, it's now close to being released, 1st of November.
Yeah.
You've probably seen that in a lot of broadcasting and different things. But you really need to go in and look at your data governance. Are you in control of your data? Who can access what information? Who can share what information? All these things, all these old good behaviors on how you should actually do. And I know it's difficult because data, the data amount is exploding. We're generating more and more information, and now we're actually going to go. Yeah, Copilot is the next one that is actually going to start helping, making it even faster to create new information. But again, coming back to the nature that it is a Copilot, it's very important to understand. If I go into this Microsoft 365 chat, that is the most generative part of the Teams integration, and create some new information. If I take that out of the chat, and actually the chat we do have a chat history in that functionality, so I can go back and see my previous conversations, and still only me. But if I take some of the information that is being generated, that could be a SWOT analysis based on a couple of documents, whatever I create in there, copy that and put it into a Word document, to a PowerPoint presentation, or using Copilot directly in those products. Now we're talking Teams today, and save that somewhere. It is still me as a user who is the owner of that, and thereby being responsible for it.
yeah.
Okay.
And again, that comes back to what we talked about. You gotta be in control of your data governance if you want to use this in a proper manner. Maybe you already have implemented labeling, different access controls depending on where and what device. All these different technologies we have to secure our data access.
Yeah.
But you still need to at least educate the user, and whenever they do that, so if I have clearance to see some important information, if I ask Copilot to help me create new information, it will use that information. So I should be aware whenever I save that, I should mark that document with the correct classification. So again, this is about that it will be very, very easy, much faster to create content. This is about having some way of automating this labeling, this marking of documents, making sure that it is saved in the right containers and things like that. So there's a lot of work that you should.
So we think that has been done. We have labeled
Yeah.
all our data and so on. How can we use it in Teams? In, for example, meetings or in large chats and something like that. Where do we see the functionality? I mean, we are in a meeting, we are sitting and discussing. I know there's some, I'm getting late into a meeting functionality. Try to explain what the Copilot for Teams are actually doing in different meeting scenarios.
If we talk about the meeting scenarios, you can go in. Of course, at least for me, I'm often in being just a bit late for the meeting. So that is actually one of the features that I use a lot because coming into a meeting 5 minutes late, you have been through the presentation round. Should I go and say, hey, who's you? Who all the people that I don't know? No, I'll just go ask Copilot. Please recap the meeting so I can see what has been talked about until now. And I can ask which roles are based in this meeting. So it go in and depend.
Functionality,
Yeah. So you can go and ask questions in the meeting. I also use it a lot in the back of in the end of the meeting. It actually comes up. You all seen this prompt that we're doing transcription and
Yeah.
We have a new pop-up now coming. Say, hey, there's 10 minutes left of the meeting, and Copilot, should I make a summary of the meeting until now? So all these you get
that's
so
pretty
it's
awesome.
automatically if you just say okay, it will make a summary of what we've been talking about, and you could quickly go, we never got to a decision that we still have these open questions. So in the last 10 minutes, you say, hey, we have these open. Can we make a decision now?
Yeah.
Yes, no, we cannot. Then we can put in. We know that we have to come back to these things. So again, it's just about being way more efficient in your meetings. You can go and ask. Are there any open questions? Are there any open actions come up in the meeting?
So one of the questions I get a lot from customers, is it working on all languages?
Right now, it is only working on English.
Okay.
It's the only supported language we have. There will soon come additional languages. And Danish is not coming right after the.
So it's not in the first bulk
It's
of
not in the first bulk,
Okay.
but it is coming.
Yeah.
We already got a promise that Danish is going to be a supported language.
Awesome.
I guess that you would actually be able to ask in Danish and then you would get the reply in English since it's
There's already some places where you actually can both ask and you will also experience, depending on your language settings and something like that it will actually give you your answer to your prompt back in Danish. But right now, English is a supported language, so if you want to say, hey, I saw this in this video, I saw this in the presentation, if you want to make sure that it's working, do it in English.
takes us back to the previous discussion we had about what's supported
Yeah.
and what is working.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's actually coming two new features in Teams related to Copilot that I think is very interesting. One is Copilot for Teams Phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have seen Sales Copilot, Viva Sales. That has been that was actually the first product that came out and it became general available from the Copilot suite. This is about that you can integrate with your CRM system so you can get let's say up-to-date customer information when you are in a conversation. That is going to come into your Teams phone system as well. So if you are in a phone conversation, you can open up Copilot and start asking the same questions as you can in a meeting.
Okay.
But also integrate it into your backend system. So you can say, oh, I'm on a customer call, independent whether I'm in the sales functionality, in the support functionality, because Copilot is context sensitive. So if I'm a supporter and I ask a question, what do we have of open cases with this customer? It will go in again because I, as a supporter, have view permission at least to the open. It will be able to show me that if that system is pushing.
That's really come in hand.
Exactly. But the feature that I love the most, which is kind of coming a bit further into is this new feature that we're going to see surface in Outlook, and it is actually a Teams functionality. But we all seen that we now can say, yes, I'm going to participate in this meeting virtually or physically.
Yeah.
And we also had the no and maybe, but we're actually going to get a fourth option now, which is follow meeting.
That's really cool.
That's really cool, at least for me. I often have multiple meetings in the same time slot.
Yeah.
But I know I need to be in this meeting because maybe I'm the main speaker. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But I really want to be in that meeting as well.
Yeah.
So what can I do? I can say yes, and then the organizer think, people said yes, but he didn't show up.
Didn't show up.
Yeah.
Why do I say yes? Because I want to make sure that I have access to whatever chat and things like that. Because the meeting organizer may have said that is only for. But now we have follow meeting. So I say, I'm interested in this meeting, but I cannot participate.
Yeah.
The first thing that is going to happen is whenever that meeting is being started, there will come a new pop-up again. Yeah, we love pop-ups. They'll come up and say, hey, someone has requested to follow this meeting. Could you please record and transcribe this meeting?
Oh, so that.
Okay.
That's nice.
So the people that is actually capable of or have the time to participate in the meeting, they get a notification. If someone actually wants to be within this discussion subject that is being handled in this meeting, okay, they do that. Whenever that meeting is done, the recording is saved, the transcription is saved. I will, as the one has pushed the follow meeting, I will get a reply in my both my Teams and my Outlook client saying, hey, now the recap from this meeting that you want to follow is ready. So whenever I have time to go in and then look at this, I will get the Copilot recap of the meeting.
That's really awesome.
It is. I'm looking so much forward to getting that
The problem is
functionality.
just when everybody is interested in that meeting and nobody pretends they'll be in the meeting. But
But again, that's the important thing about you cannot set Copilot into the meeting for you.
no, it's just getting the recap and getting information.
And again, that is of course user behavior. But again, coming back to what I said in the very beginning, it's not an autopilot; it's a Copilot. It will help you actually get more efficient on going in. And this is about meeting recording and meeting recaps, to be honest. And I guess we can say that all of us. Yes, we have the best intention of going in and looking at this recording of this 90 minutes, very interesting meeting. But maybe it's only 20 minutes that is actually interesting for me.
Yeah.
But where is those 20 minutes within the 90 minutes? I don't have a clue if I have this recording. That is a good functionality about the AI generated recap, whether that is for the meeting purpose with Intelligent Recap in Teams Premium, or that is for my personal belief with the Copilot recap that is gonna come.
And you just saved 1 hour of your work time there for
Exactly.
getting pointed to the 20 minutes that makes sense instead of 90 minutes of meeting. So yeah.
Kind of makes sense when we look at the numbers of the huge escalating of meetings that we have now.
Yeah.
Is it 250 or 300% as many meetings that we had
Really crazy.
previously?
Yeah.
So I think now the follow button would actually make sense because I totally agree on that. You sign up for the meeting or the webinar, the call, because you want to make sure you have access to the recording.
And
Never
the chat-
actually
and the
see
chat
the
function.
recording, but you love to have the access to it.
Yeah.
But now you can go in and say, okay, I only want to listen to what Peter said.
Yeah.
Or I can go and say, I want to hear about this subject, and then you could easily go to either that specific.
And this is about that it is that what we call an intelligent is that also, did I get mentioned in the meeting?
Yeah.
Did I get, was I assigned any time?
But
Do they have any expectation for me to come back? Because they know I will go in and look at it, so they can actually, they can, of course, they cannot communicate with me, but they can assume that if they say anything, Peter, could you, or anything, I will know and I will take action on that afterwards.
Yeah.
And now I'm maybe assuming, but if you are interested in the meeting and you're seeing another one where you might not be 100% focused, can you still take part of the chat on the meetings that you're following? Will you get all your chat notification and so on? So, I mean, you can kind of be part of the meeting.
I know where you're getting. yes, you can still do some kind of multitasking depending on your notification settings. But yes,
not really a good idea, is it?
No, it's not.
Still, you have the option because then in another meeting they will know that hey, you're not participating, but they were saying.
But
hey, Michael, please.
That will raise an alert in your Viva Insight. Hey, you're multitasking during meetings.
But if you switch to the meeting, then the other one get on hold, and that is.
No. Yes, of course. Of course, all the functionality
you
have
of that one.
you have today. So if you have access to the chat, then yes, you have access to it.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a request from some saying, can I lock so they only can see that Teams meeting and they cannot multitask? I was like, physical, technical, it should be possible, but then you would just ask people to bring another device. So that's more on a
That is not a user behavior
Yeah.
discussion.
But it's GA or general available from the 1st of November, so we're getting so close. It's going to be really interesting to see. And then again, it's...
You can actually already now see some of the functionality or similar functionality if you ask your administrator to enable Bing Chat Enterprise. There you have some of the same functionality as you will have in the Microsoft 365 chat. This is about you can take a document in a safe manner, say, hey, could you please go and analyze, drag information out of it, compare it together. The difference between the Bing Chat Enterprise and the Microsoft 365 chat is that it works on that specific document that you say, hey, can you compare this? If you do it in Microsoft 365 chat, it will use the whole data to gather information from to give you the best possible answer. So it's a much broader answer, much more detailed answer you will get.
Yeah, and that's also probably why you shouldn't use like OpenAI, ChatGPT to.
I'm not saying that you should not use it because they do have some functionalities that we don't have yet. You should just be aware of which tool you're using.
Yeah.
Because
and to what
and what data.
And what you're putting into it because basically we also have let's say this chat functionality now in 3 different scenarios. We have the Bing Chat, which is the public where you can go, which is accessible to everybody, and you can go and do the same as you could with ChatGPT. You can do it with Bart, you can do it with Claude, whatever. But you have no security. Meaning that whatever you put in will and can be used by others, by the owner of that product. We're not doing it that much in Bing. I will not use it a lot of time. Then we have Bing Enterprise, which is a secured way of using Bing Chat, meaning that it is within your security boundary, so nobody else can see that, but you. And then we have the Microsoft 365 chat, which is the one that is using all the information that you have access to. All in a secure manner, meaning that if you're in the Microsoft 365, all the security controls you have within your environment will be forced upon what you're doing. In Bing Chat Enterprise, it is not, because you're putting the information in, so that you can actually use information that you're not supposed to be sharing with other within your company, but it's not going to go out on the public internet. And one important thing to understand is that we now being, I'm talking as being Microsoft, we are not using the prompts, the data, anything you put into those 2 systems to train the systems.
No.
Your data is your data.
That's the key part here.
It is.
I would say it's more about training the users to understand how to ask instead of, because that's really important. It's like, if you want the right answer.
Prompting is going to be the new buzzword.
I think there's more to it, because the user also need to be aware of the data and how to label it. And the other thing here, so it's
that's why I don't really see there's also certification. I'm not certified as Copilot ready and Copilot ready training and so on. And a lot of that content is how do you label the data? How to make sure that you can.
That's actually Copilot optimized. But
optimized. Sorry, sorry, but optimizing. So that is that you make sure that you have branded everything, and that is a huge user task. I think that is actually the biggest task here. I mean, we are enjoying, hey, how can we do that, and we can optimize it. But the biggest task here is to labeling all your data.
Yeah.
Isn't that the boring part?
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, and that was why I was.
But I'm working in a company where I'm forced to do it.
Yeah.
I cannot save a document without doing it.
No.
It's that easy.
All the legacy data you have before.
I agree.
That is what we have.
And that was why I was hesitating a bit. Because yes, and we'll be talking a lot about this, and you said it out in the open. Is that is a boring task about it, and I don't know if it's boring, but it's a difficult. It's going to take a long time if you're going to go through all your old data.
Yes.
So I would more put it this way. Yes, that is something that we should be aware of. We should start thinking about how are we going to solve that issue. And then make sure that we can start using Copilot. It comes in conjunction with what I normally say. No, we're not going to lose our job to AI, to Copilot.
No.
We're going to lose our job to someone that is better prompting than I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is about saying, hey, no. We cannot use Copilot. We cannot use any of these AI tools because we are not in control of our 25 years old data.
Yeah.
If you do that, you will soon be out of the business.
Yeah.
Because there will be someone else that either don't care about the security governance, the data governance, or actually are in control. As you said, you're already enforcing on anything new.
Yeah.
So if you say, hey, we can only work on documents, that is the only that we make available to Copilot. Because it's not such that it takes everything you as an organization decide what should be taken in from your data store, of course. But you need to start thinking about how can I use it in my organization? Where can we benefit from it? Because if you don't, you will lose.
Yeah.
So maybe you should start by enforcing the labeling. Also, when thinking about how much data that we can actually create pretty fast with Copilot.
Yeah, and then whenever you do create content with at least with Copilot, it comes up with this small note, actually a footer, and saying, hey, remember this is AI generated.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty neat.
If for instance, if you go into Outlook and have it Copilot make a reply for you, and you don't do anything with it, you simply just hit the send button. People come out and say, hey, are you sure you want to send this? This is purely AI generated.
Yeah.
It might be incorrect.
That's a good point.
It is a good point.
At least to go through it and say, that's.
It is again. This is about
Exactly.
it's your Copilot. It helps you, but you are still responsible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the name itself really makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a co-pilot. It's not a pilot. It's not autopilot. You will still need to be in charge of what you are sending out. It's still you.
I
You have a
totally
virtual
agree.
assistant,
Yeah.
but that's it. With that said, I think we should wrap up this session with let's talk about Teams. A lot of discussion about Copilot. I think we could have been going on for quite some time. But thank you so much for watching. See you out there. Bye.
Right.